When we compare legacies for the purpose of this conversation, do you think you would have a better legacy? Because there's a lot of hype and a lot of noise around Anthony Joshua. He's made an immeasurable amount of money. And I think we all accept that everything flows off the tree of the heavyweight division because everything comes down because it's always been the marquee division, right? Yeah. But when you look at legacies, would you say, because you've been critical, you've talked about the fact that his legacy doesn't really exist. He hasn't got one. He beat Charles Martin, which wasn't much of a champion. He's lost to I'm paraphrasing now, he lost to the Pillsbury.
Charles Martin was gifted the IBF title because Artur Spilka, he ruptured his cruciate ligament during the fight. And then,
so it was a paper championship. Yeah, he had to beat him still, but notwithstanding
but it was Charles Martin. Charles Martin's since
and we agree
that
Klitschko was a jaded Klitschko that possibly gassed when he had an opportunity
42
to win that
years old, sat on the sofa for 18 months,
and he
comes
loses
out of retirement and fights AJ. And AJ climbed off the canvas.
Yeah, and dug deep.
In what was a very good win in front of
And I think that's the last time he wanted to do that. I think he went to an abyss. I think he went into that space where he had to, you fighters have to go into a unique space, which is when the muck and bullets are flying, some people stick and some people don't. And it's going into a dark place and being prepared to go there, right? You've been there many times. And I think Anthony went there against Klitschko. It went to a dark place. He won the fight. I think Klitschko gassed. And I don't think he's ever wanted to go there again. He kept Joseph Parker at range, albeit the fight.
We never want to go there ever again.
No, but you have to go there sometimes, don't you?
But when we go there, it's whether or not you stay there and you're willing to participate in that environment and enjoy it and relish in it and get involved, or whether you want to shy away from it and back off. And I think that when Anthony Joshua was asked the question, especially since the Ruiz fight, when it came on top and he got knocked down, and then he started getting shots, he don't want any part of that smoke. He don't want that action. He's not used to it. He's not had it as a kid. He's not had his big brother beating him. I don't know if he's had his brother beating him up, but when you're brought up as a kid and you're used to being in that environment and you fight from when you're 10 years, I was sparring at 8 years old, and you're up close and personal, exchanging shots. You've got left hooks whizzing past you. You've got uppercuts landing on your chin. You're in close, you roll onto the chest. You get a little bit of room by just pushing your opponent off, and you give yourself some punching distance, and you land a big left hook and a right hand, and then another right hand hits you. And you're close for minutes of rounds. And it becomes a subconscious reaction where you almost have an out-of-body experience when you're exchanging blows. You're not thinking about throwing the right hand and the left hook and the double jab right hand, trying to draw a right hand so you can slip it and throw the left hook. You're not thinking about anything. It's just happening. For me, it's almost like an out-of-body experience. It might sound a bit too spiritual, this, but it sounds like you're not in control of what's happening. You're just doing it naturally. So I just think AJ's, nothing against AJ. I think AJ's had a fantastic career.
Yeah. But legacy, the question was your legacy or his?
I might get ridiculed for saying this. I think he's overachieved. I really do. And that's not a criticism. That's brilliant. He's overachieved. He's done amazing. He's won an Olympic gold medal when many people, not just me, thought he'd lost the first fight against the Cuban. He won a very close fight against the Italian on a countback in a split decision. And he got the win. Fair play to him. I've been on the end of many wrong decisions in the Olympics. I missed out on the Olympic qualifiers for the Sydney Games, which was a nightmare. And I went to the World Championships a year later and medalled, which was great. So fair play to him. He's gone in there and he's done the fighting. But then he's turned professional with limited amateur experience. Even though he's Olympic gold medalist, he's still got limited amateur experience. And he's had a fantastic career.
Who's got a better legacy?
A great career. Well, I don't think that his legacy can be compared to mine. I don't think it's one bit comparable, because
he's a two-time heavyweight champion. Well, we've agreed that the heavyweight champion feeds off it. Everyone feeds off that division. You're a four-time champion. Why do you think it cannot be? I know what the answer is, but I want to hear it from you.
Well, the thing is, you have to look at who you fought, what level you fought at, and the timing of the people that you fought, and how many unbeaten fighters you've beat as well. It goes down a lot. And I beat Jean Pascal for a world title, my first world title, who then went on to become a light heavyweight, unified world titleist. Jermaine Taylor, up at super middleweight. Arthur Abraham, Mikhail Kessler. Glenkov Johnson, all right, past his best. I didn't beat Andre Ward, but I beat Andre Durrell, and it was a very close fight, and a lot of people say, that could have gone either way. Well, it could have done, but the guy came and ran and held, and he was scared to death of being hit. So he didn't deserve to win, so he didn't win, because I beat him. And I beat Mikhail Kessler in the rematch, and then I went on to beat George Groves, who was also unbeaten, and 10 years younger than me, in not one but two fights. You know what I mean? So when you look at that run of fighters and that level of opposition, time after time, back-to-back world title fights, you can't compare that with a heavyweight, and we're talking about Anthony Joshua, who's for Charles Martin, who's a nobody. All right, he's an IBF champion, but he was gifted the title. And then an old Klitschko, who'd been sat on the sofa for the best part of 2 years, comes out of retirement, nearly beats him, by the way, and I'm not taking anything away from AJ, but AJ climbed off the canvas to
beats Joseph Parker
to get the win.
To get a
He
belt
beat
off him as
Joseph
well,
Parker, he beat Povetkin.
Yeah.
But these are guys, I mean, Joseph Parker, I'm not being funny. He's not a bad fighter, but he's not an all-time heavyweight. Povetkin, not bad, but past his best. And who's he ever beat? The record doesn't stack up. The names don't stack up. If Anthony Joshua fights...
So what is his legacy then?
Wouldn't it be great if Anthony Joshua fought Wilder
and Fury
and didn't get knocked out, managed to keep out of the way, but then stuck it on him when Wilder got tired down the stretch and finished him off like he used to, throw 5-6 punch combinations instead of throwing single shots and ones and twos and then backing off.
Do you think he can?
I'm not so sure. He can, not based on what I've seen.
Yeah.
But if he was to beat Deontay Wilder, then go in there and have a fight with Tyson Fury, and win or lose against Tyson Fury, if you give him a really, really good fight and it was a close fight that could have gone either way, or maybe beats him, then his legacy is solid because he's then beaten 2 live fighters.
I agree.
And
I agree.
He deserved to be right up there and remembered.
I agree.
But
what about Tyson Fury?
I don't know how he gets to that level based on the last couple of performances.
But that's mental,
since he lost to Ruiz, I've said it before, I think a piece of his soul was destroyed, whatever that means. I think he's took his soul, like the belief and the desire and that innate instinct to fight and stand in front of your opponent, look him in the eyes when it gets hard and exchange leather, and punch him in the face and get punched back and get hold of him and get close to him and talk to him in his ear and push him off. And when the referee says box, go in there like you want to try and smash his head in. And it sounds brutal, it sounds honest, but this is a fight. It's a boxing match.
It's the nature of the business.
It's a fight game. And that's how you've got to be. You've got to be in there trying to do some serious damage. And I don't know if he can get that back now.
I agree. I think once that pilot light's gone, I think it's difficult to get it back on again. Very quickly on the subject of legacies, before I move to the last topic we're going to talk about, Tyson Fury. Has he got a legacy?
Well,
because he seems to be causing mayhem wherever he goes.
He does,
ducking everything, and causing problems and overvaluing himself in every conversation.
I love Tyson Fury, and that's not to say I don't think a lot of Anthony Joshua, but personally for me, Tyson Fury, he made his professional debut on the undercard of my world title fight. Yeah. I trained with him in Castleball, County Mayo for my first world title fight. And I watched him spar Perez while I was sparring Louis Garcia, 2 Cubans that came over, and was also promoted by the same promoter early on in our career, and then we both went our separate ways. He's now with Frank Warren. And I finished my career with Eddie Hearn. But I just love his attitude. I love the way he speaks. I love the way he gets in the ring and fights. I love the way he's not trying to please any sponsorships or any sort of promoters. He's just his own man, and he stands by his conviction and he says what he thinks.
So has he got? Is he? If he
doesn't fight, sometimes it's too much. But his legacy, which was your question, I can't give him a massive legacy. I can't give it him because
not yet.
He's fought Deontay Wilder 3 times. He nearly got done in the first one, but he didn't. Was it a draw? It was a draw, wasn't it?
It was a draw, yeah.
And then he nearly got done. He nearly got done again. Well, he got caught with some big shots. Got put. 3 great fights against a guy who's not a massive heavyweight, Deontay Wilder. He's a big puncher. He's not massive. He's not a big guy.
He's a puncher, don't he?
He's a big, massive. Listen, massive puncher. But because he's not that big and heavy, Tyson Fury is able to manhandle him, keep him at the end of the jab, keep him out of the way, lean on him, push him down, and just control the fight. It's quite easy for Fury to do what he does because he's so big and because he's so good as well. Yep. So where's his legacy? You can't say that's
he's
a legacy. He's
going to have to fight everyone else in the division to get it. You fought everyone.
Yeah.
So there's
if
legacy.
If he fights Usyk and he fights AJ and he makes mincemeat of him, beating Usyk, you've got to say, listen,
generation,
Usyk's beat AJ and AJ's done all he's done in his career, albeit not amazing, but he still beat everybody who's put in front of him except for Ruiz and Usyk. Yeah. So this is why I'm going back now about why his legacy is not that great because of the loss to Ruiz and the 2 losses back to back to Usyk. It's difficult to give AJ a gleaming legacy. A legacy for me is a boxing legacy where you can say he belongs up there with Mike Tyson and Riddick Bowe and Lennox Lewis don't get enough accolade, but Lennox Lewis is up there. Evander Holyfield, them sort of fighters, Muhammad Ali. Them sort
and Mike Tyson as well.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, 100%. But he went on too long, didn't he? And he got some losses at the end that he didn't need to have. But you can't put Anthony Joshua in with them at the minute just because it's not his fault. Hopefully he can not even prove everybody wrong. Hopefully he can do something and finish his career on a real high. But from what I've seen in his rematch with Usyk and that comeback fight against Franklin, I just don't see anything that convinces me, not even in the slightest iota, that he's got a chance of coming anywhere near to beating Fury or Deontay Wilder. But wouldn't it be great to be able to give somebody some constructive criticism without everybody thinking that you're a hater?
But that was my point.
Because if Anthony Joshua does well in boxing and fights these people, and he's great for boxing.
Absolutely.
which is great for me.
Absolutely.
And great for
We're part
our
of the
career because
ecosystem.
we need people
People get
like AJ to win
Kyle.
and look good.